Alright, we are back. It's that special time of week again. It's time for the Dev Clash. The year is 1750 and all is well. We've got myself, Jake, in the studio, and I believe we've got you there on the voices, Johan?
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Hope you guys all have fun, because this is going to be such a different session.
Yeah, so a quick recap on what happened last time. The entire dynamic of Europe got shifted, as was the will of pretty much the entire world. Prussia, Commonwealth, Saxony, and Brunswick bravely fought against almost every nation on the map. And it was bloody. It was extremely bloody. I think tens of millions died. And in conclusion, there was quite a bit of breakup of power here. So Saxony and Brunswick, well, Saxony took a bit of losses. Brunswick came out fine. Commonwealth had some minor losses, but Prussia, Prussia that was the real backbone of military power in that four-way alliance, they lost a lot of their holdings. Scandinavia fell completely out of their grasp, and it's been divvied up between a number of powers. Great Britain got essentially Denmark. Benin took a chunk of Sweden and Norway there. Finland broke free, Novgorod broke free, and Japan swooped in like a hawk. They were only really playing the naval game in the big war, but because the nations broke free here, Japan saw fit to expand their influence here and create Japanese Scandinavia. And in addition, they have subjugated the Finns. I don't think the Finns will be alive there for much longer. So that was a big loss for Prussia. They will never again have such a huge standing army as they had in that war, unless of course they managed to reconquer all this. But that would be hard pressed out of them. Could happen, but we'll see. Those kinds of coalitions tend to be one-off, so I can't imagine there'll be a round 2 involving all the world. But it was our good friend the Wiz who orchestrated that. So there's a reason he's got the diplomatic trophies.
Yeah. Oh, there's no war at the moment.
No, the only conflict going on right now is the Commonwealth doubtlessly trying to reclaim their cores off the Commonwealth, taking it back off of Novgorod. Yeah, Novgorod won't be long for this world. And we have Offelhoff saying that he's looking forward to a nice peaceful session. Now, the United States did not come out very pretty last time. Big war for them, but the true hit was Mexico carving up the United States. And now the United States is just the Confederacy, really, which is funny because they are a confederacy.
Without Texas.
Yeah. No great loss. Mexico wanted it more. What we do have, though, is revolutionary Brunswick, and I believe Serbia, he told me that he won't be in long for the session. He's going to set up his AI, and then away he goes. It was said that it's for the people to lead Brunswick in these times. Brunswick's doing all right for score, but I don't think they're placed well for a trophy here. Picardy's worth 3,000, but their generation isn't quite up to scratch. Let's actually have a look at the score generation of our players here.
Brazil is by far in the...
Brazil is making loads of it, as is Japan. Delhi might be number 1 right now, but I don't think they're going to hold number 1 unless they're able to up their score generation. If they want that, they'd have to secure a hegemon.
Japan is going to blitz past that one, but it's going to take a while for Brazil. If Brazil gets one of these victory cards, I just like watching Japan.
Well, Japan's been here.
A few hundred heavy ships there, a few hundred heavy ships there, a few hundred heavy ships there, and like the entire rest of the world fleet basically at multiple.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a reason they are the hegemon for the world when it comes to navy here.
The blood price has paid. Look at.
Whoa.
Arresto is now getting a core of Japan. Japan is back.
Yes. Well, he did say he'd be back for this, and I imagine as part of roping him in, the Papal States would have had to offer that up. But yeah, he's getting that. That's a lot of development to hand over as well. But the Wiz is off in other places right now. The Papal States been heading off. He even ceded his in sync to Japan there. There we go. The Papal States got themselves through the Suez, and even over
Yeah.
to the Horn of Africa. Although there's not really anywhere for them to go now. The whole world is taken up by players.
Have you looked at Estonia?
Oh, I've seen it there on the map, but nobody seems to be taking it over.
Look at the colors on their uniforms there. It's a
Mhm.
generic ones, but the colors on them, it just looks so nice. And the flag is so cool.
Yeah.
It's some variant of the old Danish royal shields or something that's on the Estonian.
Yeah, it's going to be a shame to see them go. They look ready to die for their country, but that could be what happens for them. I don't know who's going to be taking it over. I'd be surprised. Yeah, there's no truces going on with them and anybody else. I'm very surprised that, say, Prussia hasn't taken them over, or Japan.
Prussia has no army left.
Did Prussia go bankrupt? What's the story with them? No, they got plenty of money. They do have a bit of manpower, but not much of an anything left after that big war. Oh my! Brunswick is no more. All hail the new revolutionary Hanover. There's people in chat saying that the flag is repulsive. Don't mock revolutionary
one?
Hanover. Yeah.
AI formed. No, he formed.
No, it's still Serbier, so maybe that was his final send-off before he puts it in AI control. Anyway, he kept
Revolution.
Brunswick ideas.
I mean, he went from a beautiful red, white, red flag to a red, yellow, white, yellow, red, white.
Madness. Oh, it's been a while since we've seen the whole world at peace like this, though. It's especially contrasting to last session, where that big war lasted pretty much the entire 2 hours.
All his armies are drilling, and
Well, I don't think Revolutionary Hanover stands to gain a lot by going on the offensive here. But if I were them, I'd probably be taking it out against Great Britain. Now they're pretty much on the borders since they're over in Denmark. Speaking of those in marketing, our esteemed Serbier, Mr. 500, he has transcended the revolution. I think he stepped out for the session, so it's up to Revolutionary Hanover how they hold up. But they've got their alliances, and the revolution spreads. Actually, we have Revolutionary Saxony. Funnily enough, the nations that got defeated in the biggest war are those that are going full on revolutionary. How could this be?
oh, the Saxon revolutionary flag.
Yeah.
If you gotta have a tricolor, you can at least have one that looks absolutely. It's actually beautiful in a way.
It's not too shabby. And he's just drilling up his armies again. He lost a bit of land, did Saxony, but I don't think he came out too badly out of that. He lost a French area and a half or so. And his score is pretty good.
He can do fine. It's like, I think part of the interesting aspect for these Central European powers, if they want to win, they should be taking victory cards from one of their own. But
yeah, that would probably be a difficult thing to do between them. Do we have anybody that's coming close to the military hegemon, however? Because for that, we need a standing army of 1 million, which is a huge amount. If we check the military screen, when it comes to force limit, Ming and Brazil are the closest for that.
Ming 852.
Yeah.
In force limit.
I think if Ming put everything into that, they could grab that hegemon. They're probably a little worried about having the target on their back, but for the Starnan, I honestly think you should go for it.
440 for Delhi is the biggest army.
Yeah, I reckon he's got the economy. If he heavily went into infantry, especially, I reckon.
Prussia is selling stuff to come on. They're giving the victory cards to them.
Interesting. Where's that going to put Commonwealth then on the score? I imagine it's because in that war, it was Commonwealth that burned the hardest during the war. They were the one that was under occupation. It went back and forth on their land several times, and they were the ones that got hit out individually. So a lot of war score came from them. Sari in chat is saying they can't wait for the Genoese reconquest of Italy. Well, Genoa have not given up their cores on Genoa or Albenga. So who knows, they could still come back, but I don't know, I think Bjorn B is pretty happy in his position here, right? He's still good friends with the monolithic countries of Hungary and Timurids around them. One thing Hungary was claiming about that they were going to be going for is the Emperor of China for themselves. I think they might be out of their element if they want to straight up fight Ming for that, but I don't know if they'll come to an agreement on that or not. Why would revolutionary Saxons be around in Timurids? Why would Prussians be in Timurids? Why would even the Timurids be in Timurids? Oh, Brazilians as well. Now, it's not impossible that Timurids is thinking there'll be some revolts popping up and they needed some friends in high places to help them out. But what I think is far more likely is that the Timurids and their newly found allies from here, there, and everywhere are thinking that it's time to put India in its place. India has fought hard for what they have. There was a large war to try and dethrone them, especially Delhi, but could be time for round 2. See, Delhi came out on top on all those befores, and that's why they're enjoying massive score. But as I was saying earlier, there's 6,000 points to be wrestled away from them if those victory cards are taken by force. And think about who stands to gain from that. It could be that revolutionary Saxony is seeing their opportunity to step in for a top 3 by way of...
Or me. Or
New Delhi has been created already, probably looking to feed them in the future. I'm thinking that Timurids is going to declare war on Delhi, and I reckon this is the war to get Saxony into top 3. Delhi still has a large army, decent dosh, tons of manpower, and good defenses as well. They've got forts all over the place. High level forts at that. They're a really consolidated country. Small war going on right now. Malacca is at war with Brunei and Vassal 2, and I'm not sure that Vassal 2 is actually a subject at this point. No, they are not. What a misnomer. And Nepal is gunning down Malwa. Malwa has existed for a suspiciously long time throughout all of this, but I think that their days are numbered. Time for Nepal to grow a bit more. Popular support for Vassal 2. Well, we saw those units move into Timurids. I don't know what the delay is now, though. I don't see any additional units moving over. I'm also wondering if this will be enough. The Prussian units are strong. They've still got all their ideas and such that make their units a cut above the rest. Brazil brings quite a few numbers, as to the Timurids, and then I think you just have Saxony and Genoa to buff that up even further. But then you have Nepal.
hold on, I got the delivery.
Yeah, go for it. Oh my, we got revolutionary Sardinia Piedmont coming in now as well. Well, at least they don't lose their awesome colour. The flag is a different matter, though. Saying he's rather enjoying being a revolutionary state here. Absolute power of the president. Revolutionary principle. Being revolutionary is lit, as the kids say. Fresh advice from the Groog there.
But it's interesting, it's like Delhi. Yeah, well, Delhi was just fighting most of this, except Brazil that keeps swapping.
I think Brazil just jumps in because they want the wars. There's, I don't think they have any long-term things going on, right?
Oh, and I understand the Brazilian plan. It's a proper British plan. make sure that the other countries are fighting each other.
I mean, Brazil has kept their friends close enough, in particular Andalusia, but otherwise they just get involved as and when they want to, because there's no big risk to it. It would take a madman to actually go and invade Brazil proper. I guess that's why they don't need to invest much in fortifications, because that's a whole continent you'd essentially have to fight if you want to take on Brazil, and since Brazil has bottomless amounts of money, they could just fight you back, no problem. Something looks a little different about French California these days, but I can't put my finger on it. Unsurprisingly, keeping their French ideas. Yeah, and North America is a real colorful state. Okay, still people just poised and ready in Timurids, but they're not pulling the trigger for war. I don't know why. Nepal, however, has just gobbled up all of Mawar. I think they took all of that. Yes, yes they did. They'll be coring that up double time. There we go. They're at about half overextension of that. I thought maybe, just maybe, Timurids wanted to wait for them to annex that so they could occupy it and keep them with overextension, but no.
Revolutionary Commonwealth.
Oh man, all these beaten back nations are embracing the revolution.
Now we have a Habsburg on the Emperor throne.
Oh yes, the war is happening, but it's not the war we were looking at before. It's Mexico versus United States and Vermont. It looks like this is only New Worlders getting involved, and this is the third Mexican-American imperialist war. Now,
Mexico is starting the war.
We're always unbiased as the viewers, but come on, Mexico!
Mexico, and they have an enormous
yeah, look at that. They're just marching into Peaceville.
They're like outnumbering those two players 3-1.
Oh, this is amazing. Come on, the United Confederacy. Now's the time to defend your states. New Orleans is now under siege. That's not going to last long. Oh, man. This is such a great opportunity for Mexico to go ham on the United States. And I hope all the best for Mexico. If they're able to stop the United States and Vermont being a thorn in their side, they could totally betray former France and take their victory card, and then suddenly Mexico starts being a big player. They're currently 6th on the ranking list. They could be so much more. I believe in Mexico.
I'm hoping for Mexico. They're going to win this, crush down the United States. But basically, United States is a failed state. It's a pirate confederacy, and they have no control.
Yeah, pirate confederacy that hasn't really had rich places to go and pirate in. Trying to be a real state, failing to be a real state. I mean, when you're overshadowed by Vermont, things aren't going too well for you. But still, fueled by patriotism and apple pie, the Americans might pull something out. They need to couple up with the Vermonts and take the fights accordingly. Because although
they're charging 51 ships to control the Gulf of Mexico, a huge Vermont fleet, and I don't think that the Mexican fleet can stand up against it.
Vermont was really good on the seas before, but they've got amazing admiralty there, 453 on that fleet. They should really charge into Mexico to win out there in the Gulf, because then at least they'll have naval superiority. Let's get a quick look at army.
They're committing to it. It's
Are
going
they?
to be a battle.
They have gone. Oh.
Mexico has no leaders.
Yeah, that Mexican lack of leader could really hurt them, and I think their flagship just got sunk as well. That can't be good for them. Every single roll there's either a 4 or a 5 advantage to the Vermont, and that is why Mexico has got to run away from there. So no, Mexico does not win on the seas right now, but I think that could have been different if the Mexicans had just brought an admiral in. Oh well, for some reason there.
Oh, no, the war started.
The big war started as well. Ooh.
Malacca is in as well. Ming
is not in. I wonder if Ming tends not to like to go in for the wars when it's all against one, but this is all against an entire subcontinent. Right, battle already fighting over in Dipalpur.
Commonwealth is not in.
Ooh, wow, okay. Timurids might be a little too gung-ho here. His stacks are going to be cleaned up by the Delians. Oh man, Delhi knows how to fight. 8 morale, 120 discipline, and they just cleaned them up there. Oh, and they are aggressively going into Prussia. They reckon they've got it against the Prussians. The Prussians have a lot more discipline, a little more morale.
They're getting slaughtered.
Oh my.
An applause for Delhi.
That was incredible work by Delhi. And this is the second time that Delhi has fought against numerous states that are attacking their heartland. That amazingly huge Delian army, they know where to strike. I wonder if they're going to push back into the Timurids. Could be dangerous. Let's see. So this is the Timurid-Delhi imperialist war.
There's a huge battle in around St. Louis where the Mexican army crushed the combined Vermont and U.S. army, and the U.S. army getting stack wiped.
There we go. Just saw the last of them disappear in Casquinampo, that well-known
the other
province.
side from St. Louis, somewhere in modern Kentucky, I guess.
I think we're going to have to reimagine the United States after this. Because Mexico have, especially at this late stage in the game, Mexico could carve the US up.
Sonora joined on the Mexican side, and they're taking the west of Vermont.
Oh my, they could just cleave them up. Poor US army. This was not their
and
fight.
Delhi is fighting a huge battle against...
Big battle in Raw. Delhi's taking a lot of penalties in that fight and are decidedly pulling out, especially when they saw how many reinforcements coming in for Brazil. This could be Delhi figuring out that it's not a good idea to push back into Timurid land because they are heavily outnumbered overall. I think it's like 2.5 or 3 to 1, not in Delhi's favor. Oh, Mecca is saying that the backstab from Sonora is real. So here I thought that Mexico might turn on Sonora, but no, Sonora is the one turning on the US and Vermont. Incredible. Probably seeing the way the wind is blowing. Yeah, the south will be Mexico again. There we go, United States have thrown in the towel. I assume they want to protect their ally Vermont from Sonoran advance. But this gives Mexico free reign to carve them up.
Just a separate piece to Vermont out.
Too much for the United States to handle. Ooh.
Well, it's a failed state. Pretty much like real life.
Down they go. I'm just wondering what Mexico's going to do to them. I think the most harm they could do is to take the coastline.
Czech Timurids in a battle in Delhi.
They're going for it in Delhi, eh?
Oh, and they're taking heavy losses to attackers.
Ooh.
5k versus 2k. Ooh,
yeah, the thousands pouring out here. Delhi's sending in just a few more, but Brazil's also coming in with reinforcements. This could go either way. It's flat ground. Nobody has a particular advantage over the other. Both of them have 6-5 generals. Delhi is marching in with everything they've got. It's cannons on the front line for the attackers. I think they're down and out. Delhi has held strong once again.
One more battle, one more victory like this, and they're lost.
Yeah.
But it's just beautiful.
That was a beautiful fight for Delhi.
And Mississippi is now been crossed.
Oh,
it's a beautiful Mexican border.
It's a treat to beat your feet there.
Sonora got what they occupied in the north, and Kentucky and the big battle side of Casquinampo Nampo is.
The United States have just shrunk down. It's such a withered state now.
Mexico, I'm just gonna keep gobbling up the rest of it.
Yeah, they have no reason not to, right? Once they get those cores done, I'm not even sure they have to pay attention to truces. They could just go all in. The United States is finished, and New Orleans is no more. Oh man, I've got a lot of respect for Mexico's play. They bided their time, they helped out the right people, and for that they're essentially rewarded with North America. Europeans too busy killing each other, and Indians to get involved. Okay, Delhi's spreading out, Delhi's reinforcing, but Delhi is about to drink half their manpower pool just to reinforce right now.
We have a naval battle where Japanese is losing a naval battle outside of Somalia. The Japanese transport ship getting sunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kiel was pretty good at naval. Japan is better.
Japanese main fleet is coming.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Or a Japanese fleet is coming.
Yeah, there's the thing about a Japanese main fleet. They have a lot of fleets. Not sure which one's their main one. But it's well led and it's going in, and Nepal.
We have another war. We have another war in Europe. It's versus Andalusia.
Andalusia's at war with Milan. Oh man, the Milanese ambitions cannot be stopped nor topped. The Austrian-Milanese imperialist war. So it's actually Austria gunning down Milan, probably wanting to get their land back, if I had to guess. But that puts them at odds with a lot of nations. It's just
including the revolutionary Sardinia Piedmont, which has a very cool Frenchism.
There we go. I think they are. I don't think Andalusia picked the right side here.
And the Papal fleet is sinking the Andalusian fleet of.
Well, Austria is focusing on retaking the Milanese Balkans. They managed to get the City of World's Desire back, but I think Milan proper is going to be pretty safe. Gold star for not supporting the US, Vermont, says Alex Siphon. Again, both France and Spain, right? They started out with France and Spain, two incredibly strong powers, especially in multiplayer. They both survived, but just not in the ways you'd expect. I never imagined we'd have France over as California and Alaska there, and Spain into Mexico as a power play for somebody that got ravaged by Portugal and former Morocco. But they hold on, and for that Mexico's doing particularly well.
And still, there's no... Oh, there's a battle. The Prussians are caught the Delhi stack and slaughtered it in southeastern Timorids.
Yeah, I mean,
but they only have 100k Prussians.
Yeah, I think the Prussians need their cannons to be fighting in those battles, or to pick off individual stacks. Look at that, they caught and slaughtered a Delhi stack in just a few days. That's how they need to operate, and they're going in for more. They're going into Doba. Delhi cannot afford to lose these. Delhi in manpower is already in a bad place. They are outnumbered, although I don't think all those numbers can be used against them at once. Yeah, Delhi need to hold on, hold their capital, and use their enormous might and their ability to move it around as and when they please. Because otherwise they're going to get picked off by Prussians just like that.
One big Prussian stack and a lot of other stacks, Timurid stacks. But I don't know what the other nations are doing. There's war everywhere.
Yeah, there's war across the world. We have to jump between India, Europe, and, well, North America's done for now. I imagine Mexico's going to be coming back before you know it.
I think Andalusia is the big loser in this war.
Yeah, I feel for Andalusia. They backed the wrong horse here. I mean, props to them for joining in the war, but at some point you've got to look at the belligerents and think, no, this isn't the war for me. Brazil steered clear of that, even though they are they're allied with Austria. Of course, they're at war with Delhi right now. Oocha. There's a question coming in saying, what is Ming doing? Ming is not currently involved in any wars, and the position of their troops does not offer anything to tell us what they might be up to. I would suspect they're trying to go for hegemon. I mean, they could definitely grab that. They have what it takes to get it. They have the manpower to invest in the army to make their way up there.
That could be interesting.
Big fight happening in the same place again. It's over in Dipalpur. Nepal has intercepted reinforcements, but the Japanese are here as well, and that's going to be the Nepalese down and out. And those units are going to go and back up the Prussians as they fight against the Delians. I don't think the Delis are going to muster another victory here.
The Prussians are dropping out of the mainland. So now it's got cannons on the front line for the attackers.
Wow, those losses are phenomenal. Wow, I can't believe it. Delhi's pulling through again.
Damn, I love the Delhi player in this game.
Yeah,
It's
Delhi just pulls it all out. When the fight comes to them, they bring it back. Damn, Delhi. Technologically, they're on par. They got Tech 28 across the board. Tech 29 will bring in new cannons, but that's a ways away. Yeah, major props to Delhi here. They've still got those Jampuri ideas, which are pretty good. You know, I've played with them before. Quality, defensive, quantity, offensive. Yeah, the full 3 military policies as well, including weapon quality standards, horse artillery, fortifications as well, because they need that fort defense. They've also got the defensiveness edict going on in their fortifications. In fact, if you check out the area of Lahore, nothing but fortifications there. They don't want those Europeans or Timurids coming one step in. It was so great putting Arheo in Timurids because it's just been this constant friction between Timmy and the entirety of India, and it's culminated in wars like these.
brilliant. Andalusia is fully occupied, or at least Spain is occupied. Austria is getting occupied.
Yeah. Spain
This
is
is not
putting the
a war.
lose in Andalusia here. It's not looking good for them. Can they hold the strait, though? Jerusalem thinks not. Jerusalem's there in the Straits of Gibraltar. Oh, wow. That's a really unfortunate thing for Andalusia. They backed Austria, and that's proven to be their undoing. Austria's early gains on Milanese Balkans is being unwoven completely. The Austrians are forced back into Andalusia. And this is the new fate for the Austrians. They're just going to become Turkish now. I'm not sure they'll even hold on to anything that they have in Europe proper after this. Going to put myself in Milan's boots. It's also at war with Yemen. Yemen has started their reconquest on Milan. They must think this is their best opportunity. But Milan still have plenty of friends on their side. This could actually be the greatest war for Milan.
Milan always ends up landing on his feet.
Milan had to fight for every scrap he had, especially in the first 200 years. And, you know, even out of all that, he doesn't have huge amounts of land or anything. He has Milanese Egypt, whoop-de-doo, but I think coming out of this, he'll be in a much better position. Revolutionary Commonwealth actually beaten back by the Austrians. The Austrians aren't quite down and out just yet. As for the Delians, that manpower is just dribbling away. They've got no real way to get much more of it. Austria is Holy Roman Empire once again, so he might be using that as his last ounce of strength to fight this war. Alright, Delhi's holding back. They are milking the war score right now. It's a flat 0 from all the battles, but they are getting ticking war score from holding on to their capital in Delhi. I imagine Timurids thought this would go a bit better than it has. If you look at their troops, they are scattered. There's no real individual point of punching in, and that's I think what they need to do against Delhi here. They have the numbers to take down Delhi, but they just don't seem to get them in to the right place at the right time.
A Finnish army of 12,000 troops is leading an advance into northwestern Delhi. Mikael Blom is in charge of it.
Wow. Yes, sieging down Beira right now. Well, that's Japan's subject Finland for you. Right, the Milanese Balkans being placed under occupation once again from Austria, who might be hoping that they could peace out the Papal States at some point, but it's too early in the war for that. What will Neon DT do? Some people were asking about the industrialization institution. It did spawn since we've gone past 1750. It actually spawned over in Liuyang, so it's the Starnan who is the most industrious player around here. Of course, that is going to tick up and give some late game tech cost to those that don't have it, but it seems to be spreading around the world quite a bit. It'd be an expensive one to embrace in the late game. Yeah, Junhom saying it's made in China already. Believable worlds. Right, they're going for it one more time over in Shorkot. It's the Timurids that are there. They're backed up by Prussians. I wonder if the Europeans think that they don't have any immediate threats over in Europe now, since they're coming forward with this attack into Delhi. Delhi's bringing all their units together. They're going to attempt to throw them out of here once again. I can't help but feel that Delhi should have pushed a bit more into Timurids early on, because what it means is that Delhi is the one that doesn't have defendable terrain here. All these fights that Delhi has to take are on flat lands that don't offer them any particular advantage. Perhaps early game they could have pushed Timmy a bit harder to grab those hills and mountains, especially if they held Roh, which is a really nice choke point. But hey, we can say anything as an observer. They're the ones that have to play, and right now they're playing out another huge battle. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands dying over here in Shorkot. Nepal's ready to back up if the numbers go too low. How much of a backup do the attackers have? Oh, well, the Brazilians are coming in the droves. Don't want to call it too early, but this doesn't look terrific for Delhi. Delhi's throwing in more and more that they can. They have numbers in reserves still. Then again, so do the Timmies. Plenty of reserves. Reserves do take morale damage, so it can be an idea to put them in later, but I think they've already dedicated almost everything they can. The Nepalese went to take out the Japanese. Might have been too little too late there. Daniel is saying save Milan. Save Milan from what? We'll go over and check once we see the conclusion of this battle. Ooh, it's thinning out for Delhi. Not sure they have the numbers for this, especially since the Brazilians are pouring on in. Okay, Nepal get involved in it. Alright, it's cannons on the front row for Delhi. It does mean massive damage for the enemy, but it also means massive damage for them. They've got in a few more reinforcements, but they realize they cannot keep taking that fight. They have to retreat, and now they've taken more losses than they have manpower. Brutal for them. However, let's check in on Benin. Benin is now fighting against Yemen, claiming that they will save Milan. I can't help but feel that that is what they're saying on the front, but in reality, this is just a further of Benin's idea of Africa for the Africans. There was always the question, the Yemeni question, were they really African? Their capital is over in Shewa. But I think Benin is making good on their Africa for Africans, or perhaps Africa for the Benins. Although they did use that to fight Kilba before. Starnan is marveling over the fact that he can join in a great power war. Wouldn't be surprised if he'd be tempted. He could actually join Delhi and Nepal in their war against the everyone, but I'm surprised at Starnan here, right? He has everything to gain by jumping in and attacking the Indians right now, but he does not attack. He does, however, have 6 leaders out of 3, so he must be feeling pretty comfortable in his military points right now. He's definitely going for the hegemon, though. He's just 100k short of having that. This would not be a one-on-one. Okay, so Starnan believes in having the one-on-one. Given that Delhi is currently defeating a 2-on-many, not sure one-on-one's the best deal for the Starnan, but if anyone could pull it off, it would be a great player like him. Right, the Austrians, they've poured everything they can into Gallipoli. Such a bloody battle site. But mostly for Austrians today. They're dishing out a lot of losses for the attacker here, but it's Austria versus sideways Austria. The Austrians are giving everything they've got to maintain their stranglehold on Gallipoli. But it's not enough. That's the Austrians chased away. The Milanese fleet will be useful there once Gallipoli is retaken, because that stops the Austrians freely moving back. There we go. And now the Austrians can be taken down at their leisure. They have 81% war score. Poor Milan. They're continuing to get burned here by the Yemens. But Benin is going on in. Benin's not even allied to Milan. They just want to liberate them. War, war, and more war. You know, even little Jerusalem's getting involved in these, although I'm not sure he's really fighting in the Delian one. A couple of those forts have been taken. It's going to be quite a lot of work to push in. I think Delhi's actually upped their fort game now. There's like another layer of them. Yeah, there we go. In 61, they finished construction of a new fortress over in Samana and the surrounding area. So Delhi's putting their money to use. Well, not even their money, their borrowed money to keep people out of there. Ghost is calling out Japan for something. One doesn't know what, but they are on Kiowa's side, so... Although that might have been a private message that ended up being not so private. Sneaky. Constantine saying broken promises, they won't be coming home. Well, the Austrians won't be coming home. Although the Austrians have a lost identity of what home is. Home for them is now Anatolia. How well can those Milanese fight? Not well enough, it seems. Not against the power of Austria here. Sir Roger's pulling out all the stops he can to try and beat back Austria here. I think this has been a long time coming, the fight between Austria and Milan, but Milan is coming out on top. Just trying to see what would Milan be taking out of this war, because it's all but one for them. They have a 90% war score on the Austrians. Although the Austrians are fighting tooth and nail, they're not able to win out.
They're lost. But I think that they want to like dismember Andalusia a little.
Yeah, Andalusia's under heavy occupation here, minus 55% war score. If they just make it over and take out the Tunis and Moroccan heartland, that's that. But who's going to be taking that? It's a very good opportunity for Sardinia-Piedmont, that much is a given.
Yeah, but if I'm Sardinia-Piedmont, I'm starting the hail out of a certain province in northwestern Morocco called...
Oh, right, yeah. I don't want to be anywhere near Brazil's victory cards, given how good they're doing on score. But I reckon Sardinia-Piedmont, they could just kind of cleave away, you know, Barcelona, Valencia, make a little holiday home.
Proper Catalonia. And then, who's getting the Austrian coastline?
Milan, I reckon. But I'm wondering if they're interested in that coastline. Puts them in a dangerous area where maybe the Commonwealth or Hungary might be interested. Whereas they can kind of freely expand around Greece and that. They might take like the area of Morea, Albania, the rest of Thrace. Good development land and pretty neat borders. I always thought that Austrian Adriatic coastline was a bit barbaric. Kosovo would actually be pretty nice since we're in the late game. There's coal there. Can actually check where all the coal in the world is. As usual, plenty in Britain. I think coal has spawned everywhere that it can right now. No, Genoa's holding on to some only latent coal over in Thien. Any other coal still latent? The United States have not yet tapped into their coal. They prefer the furs over in Charlottesville. Look at where the Mexican army is. If that isn't a show of force against the US, I don't know what is. Standing in Kentucky, standing in Peaceville, just surrounding the United States.
You know, 70-76 is a pretty decent year for US in history.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what expires in December 75?
I reckon certain truces. Oh,
yeah,
no.
so I foresee a 76. That's the end of the US. No, actually, it will take another few wars, but still.
Yeah, well, essentially the end for them. Our poor American viewers, not getting the justice they deserve on stream for them, I'm sure. But for the Mexicans, oh boy.
Open up the great powers of the world screen and you see a military hegemon.
Oh, there we go. Not a single European hegemon. It is Brazil, it is Japan, and now it is the Ming. And that, I reckon the Ming wants to build this up for their war with India, their so-called one-on-one. With this, they won't worry so much about war exhaustion. They'd have much less to worry about spies, so that'll help with fort defense. Province war score cost, though, that'll allow them to brutalize what they take over.
Yeah, but when they grow, the national unrest is enormous. And 20% attrition, yes, that's 20% less attrition for marching through this state. It adds up.
Yeah.
And Kilwa is crushing Western fleets. What else is new?
Now, Kilwa does win on the seas. I reckon if it weren't for Japan's size, then it'd be different.
Japan joined in and defeated them.
Oh, yeah.
But the Brazil, it cannot stand up against the Kilwans.
Okay, Delhi is sweeping through, taking care of all the places they can to try and liberate these forts. Notably not engaging with those Prussians, but that gives the Prussians kind of free rein to lay down these sieges. Looks like he's very specifically taking fights that are not against Prussians. But that's the outer shell of forts cracked. If they get through the ones around Sirhind, then the attackers can spill into Delhi proper. Given that that's so well fortified, I'm really surprised that they're not actually fighting into Nepal instead. Nepal's underbelly is a lot more open to attack. They could go around, as long as they took the Gujarat area, then they could go down the coastline and kind of force Nepal out. Since
it's a huge battle in some.
Yeah, the Prussians are being intercepted, but they have a lot of backup coming in. Oh god, that is looking brutal for poor Delhi here. Oh, Mecca has decided not to be in sync there.
He has to drop out, and we're not stopping for any more.
Yeah, keep it going. Just looking at everybody pouring in here. I don't think they're going to wait at all. They're just throwing in every unit that they can. That Prussian morale really speaks for itself, but that discipline they have is at 144. They got everything they can for that, and it's helping out big time. Lowering extra prestige from land battles, helping keep that Prussian prestige as high as it goes. Does feed into morale yet more. We even have Bjorn B with his Genoese troops force marching their way in.
But there's no Prussians on the front line anymore. It's red colors. It's Timurid troops
they're not gonna last
fighting
quite as
Delhi
long.
troops. It's basically just Prussian cannons, and the rest is who's a dark green. It's a Rostov.
Meat shields here.
Coruña. It's Brazilians. The battle is soon lost for.
Delhi's bringing in a few more reinforcements, but in come the Japanese. The Brazilians are still there with more. Timurids are bringing in more. I'm not seeing cannons on the front line either side yet, but the sheer number of losses that we have on both sides right now, and this isn't the massive world war we had before. This is just the war in this subcontinent. And we have 4 million casualties already. Okay,
it's all over Indians.
Yeah, that Delian line is broken. It is so broken. And away they go. Oof. They're going to lose those last fortifications, and then it's a march onwards to the Delian capital, which is notably undefended. There's no fort there aside from the capital fort. When they get that, they're going to swing war score by 25. And then tick it up by another 25, and then that is a very unfortunate time for Delhi. And that's the thing about Delhi, they're so close, right? There's not that many years left in the game. We've only got 55 or so to go, and they're in second place right now. Fair enough, they might fall to third because of Brazil's accumulation, but if they have their victory cards taken away, they're going to lose a further 6,000, and that'll put them below even Revolutionary Commonwealth and Ming.